Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Thursday. I hope all is well and you're enjoying the week so far. Some international games really beginning to heat up now. England, of course, in action later tonight. Bukayo Saka expected to start in that one. I will be watching it and give my player ratings for Goal. So if you are interested about England, then keep your eyes peeled for all that from me. But wanted to start today's video talking about Mesut Ozil. The announcement of his retirement came probably about 10 minutes after I uploaded yesterday's video, so I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I wanted to talk about it today because a polarising player, I suppose you would say, certainly the way things ended at Arsenal, but what a player he was when he was at his best, and I feel like I should really talk about him, given such a glittering career has now come to an end. So many tributes played yesterday by clubs he played for, by former teammates. I mean, you just had to look at Instagram to see all the Arsenal players that he played with paying tributes to him in his career. And look, forget how it ended. It obviously ended a bit sour, but I said out yesterday on a tweet, just enjoy the fun part, and there was a lot of fun. I loved Mesut Ozil at Arsenal. He was a joy to watch. He was frustrating at times, no doubt about it, but on the whole, it was such a wonderful... It's what you pay money for, to go and watch football, is to watch players like Mesut Ozil, to watch players who have that sort of technique, that sort of vision, that sort of ability to make football look so ridiculously easy when it is so ridiculously hard. It's what you want in a footballer. And, you know, you think of the Ludogorets goal. I posted it yesterday again. Just any excuse to watch that goal. It never, I don't think, has a goal so encapsulated a footballer more than that goal being scored by Mesut Ozil. You know, through on goal, 2-2, away in the Champions League, last minute, you just hit it, don't you, when the keeper comes out to you. But not Mesut Ozil. He lifts it over the keeper, jinks around the defender who comes back, feints to shoot, leaves two defenders lying on the floor and rolls the ball into empty net. It was just such a ridiculously good goal that just summed up everything about Mesut Ozil, who made the sublime look easy, who made the difficult look easy. It was just a wonderful, wonderful player. I put out a piece yesterday. I thought I'd look at some of his best moments in an Arsenal shirt, and I mean, one of them had to be the day he signed. That, you know, that whole remarkable 48 hours. I was at the game at the North London derby I think it was on a Sunday, wasn't it? 2 days before the end of the transfer window. And that summer, Arsenal beat Tottenham 1-0. And then on the way home, news started to emerge that Arsenal were in for Mesut Ozil. Woke up the next day on Monday. I remember I was working at Reading's evening paper, the Reading Evening Post at the time. I was covering them for the sports desk. And just the excitement that whole day of, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And then it finally did happen right at the end. Those scenes outside the Emirates on Sky Sports with all the fans celebrating. And it just made Arsenal feel relevant again. It made Arsenal feel big again. So long up to that point, from the move from Highbury, basically, Arsenal had not been able to make anything dramatic happen in the transfer market. They just didn't have the money. They were paying off the stadium. Ozil's arrival, Ozil's signing, changed all that. And it just made Arsenal feel like a big club again, being able to go out and sign a player like Ozil. And it was such a special feeling for an Arsenal fan. I think that's why everyone looks back on that day, on that signing, the way it happened, that deadline day, is just such a thrilling moment. And it was just brilliant. And then the debut, setting up the goal for Giroud on his debut within about 11 minutes, I think it was. There was just so many good moments. His first goal against Napoli in that Champions League match with the Emirates, which was absolutely bouncing that night. It was such a good goal as well. There was just so many. You know, lots of people look at Ozil and say, "Oh, he didn't turn up in a big game." So I always felt that was such a myth. It was just not true. You know, sometimes he didn't perform away from home, admittedly, but not a lot of the team didn't perform away from home. But plenty of times he did perform, and that just got overlooked by this whole myth that he didn't perform against the big teams, because he did. He scored plenty of goals against big teams, against Man United, for example, against Chelsea. And then I just think back to his performances in the two FA Cup finals, 2015 and 2017 against Aston Villa and against Chelsea, which is absolutely brilliant on both of those occasions. I know Santi got man of the match against Villa in that final. And he was brilliant, Santi, but I thought Ozil easily could have got it. He was so good. Villa couldn't get him near him. And then that final against Chelsea, when Arsenal went into it, such underdogs. Chelsea had just won the league. No one gave Arsenal a chance, really. And Ozil just ran the show. I thought he was so good. Chelsea couldn't deal with him. He was pressing, he was work ethic, everything about that game. He was just absolutely brilliant. It was so unlucky when he didn't score at the end when he hit the post, because he just deserved a goal. And, you know, that's in the FA Cup final. It's a big occasion, and he does turn up and he does perform against the very best teams. So the whole myth that Arsenal carried him, I just didn't buy into that. There was some games he didn't perform, admittedly, but a lot of the time he did perform, and he performed very well, and he was just a brilliant player to watch. I loved watching him, and I really hope he enjoys his retirement. Let me know what you guys think anyway about the news on Mesut Ozil. How much did you enjoy him? Do you disagree with me? Were you disappointed by Ozil at his time? Anything you want to say about the news that he has retired, let me know in the comments below. Okay, elsewhere, news from the US, lots of excitement about Folarin Balogun. Obviously, we spoke about him in yesterday's video. There's been more developments in that front. He's pulled out of the under-21 squad at England due to injury, and now it appears he is in Orlando, which of course is where the US men's national team at the moment are based for their camp over the international break. And certainly US fans have gone into a bit of a excited mode about the fact that he has travelled there. Is it just purely coincidence? Has he gone for a little break? You would think that's doubtful, but you never know. Maybe he just fancied a trip to Disneyland. Who knows? But it's certainly a lot of excitement on the other side of the Atlantic about the fact that Balogun is over there. We'll wait and see what developments, if there are any developments, come from this. Maybe he's just gone over to speak to them, which you would think he would absolutely, in his rights to do when he's trying to decide who he should play for internationally, or go over and meet the people in charge of the US men's national team, go and have a look, see where they train, that sort of thing. And he's well within his rights to do that. I personally, and I still think, I'll get my words out. I think I said it yesterday, but I think he'd be mad to make a decision now on his international future. I just don't think there is any rush for him to do that. I can understand the temptation of picking the US now, because they're throwing everything at him. They're making him feel really, really wanted. I'm imagining they're going to be offering him to be basically the poster boy of the World Cup and the build up to the World Cup in 4 years' time. They desperately need a striker. He is that striker. He's very exciting. He's young. He could be the poster boy for the US, and that must be a very tempting prospect. And I'm sure there'd be lots of commercial opportunities with that as well. But that's not going to go away. And I just feel that the World Cup's still 4 years away. There's an awful lot of time yet left for him to make a decision. If he does harbour any sort of hope of playing for England, which you think he probably does because he would have chosen the US by now, if not, then why not just wait a little bit till the end of next season? There's still 2 years left of the Premier League until the World Cup by that point. And then hopefully next season you would have played in the Premier League, whether it be for Arsenal or on loan somewhere else, and have a season in the Premier League. And that's when you would see if you're going to get opportunities. You're not going to get opportunities in the England squad at the moment playing for Reims in France. As well as he's doing over there, it's just not going to happen. He's got too many players playing in the Premier League who will be ahead of him in, of course, Harry Kane, but then Ivan Toney, Callum Wilson, Ollie Watkins has scored 6 in his last 8 in the Premier League. He's not in the England squad. So I don't think Balogun can expect, just because he's scoring goals in France, that he's going to get ahead of those sort of players. He needs to prove himself in England, I would say, in the Premier League. And so I don't think he should be getting frustrated at not being in the squad yet. He's still very, very young. But who knows? He might be desperate to play for the US. And if he is, then good luck to him. Make that choice and go over there. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic success. And like I said, it'd be brilliant to be basically the poster boy of the 2026 World Cup, which is going to be in the US, obviously, or shared with the US. And, what a fantastic opportunity that would be for Balogun. And we shall wait and see. But yeah, personally for me, I just feel like you just wait a little bit. You don't really need to be making a decision now. I mean, Harry Kane's 30 in the summer. There is no natural successor, I don't think, really coming through at the moment. No one has sort of nailed that position down to being basically, when Kane goes, they're going to step up and be England's striker. So I think that position is there for the taking. Southgate seems to change his mind every single squad. You've got Toney in it this time. He wasn't in it before. Before you had Callum Wilson, he's not in this one. He seems to change his mind every single squad because no one's really stepped up and become that guaranteed second choice striker for England. So it's there for the taking. If you come in next season, have a good season and loan, score goals in the Premier League, then he could be in the squad for the Euros next summer and be next in line to basically step in after Harry Kane. So I just think you bide your time a little bit and wait. But again, who knows, maybe he is desperate to play for the US, and if he is, good luck to him, and that will be very exciting for the US. And I know lots of you watch these videos from America, so I'm sure you'll want to have your say in the comments below about Balogun potentially being your striker for plenty of years to come, given he's only 21 years old. Matt Turner is over it in the US. He did speak about Balogun a little bit yesterday in his press conference, actually, but he also spoke about what Mikel Arteta had to say to all the Arsenal players who are heading off international duty over the next couple of weeks. I thought were quite interesting comments from Matt Turner. He said, the message from our manager and the message amongst the players is very clear. You're going away to keep fit, to keep playing at the highest level, and obviously to stay healthy. Treat your body right and come back firing on all cylinders, because we're definitely not the only club that's on pause right now. I think that's it. I can just imagine Mikel at London Colney as all the players are sort of heading off, just standing there saying, last word, do not get injured. That should be just a sign that they have to drive under as they're leaving before the international break. Do not get injured. I think it's very interesting that Arsenal's physio has gone over to Garda with Thomas Partey. It's like, I'm not letting you out my sight. You are staying fit during these couple of weeks before you come back, which is very wise, because we all know what happened at the end of last season with Arsenal and the injuries that suddenly hit in those last crucial weeks, and how it basically, I think, made Arsenal miss out on the top four. You don't want that to be happening this time in this title race. So everyone needs to stay fit, and I just thought those were really good comments from Turner there on what Arteta had to say. He continued to say, we need to come back with the right mentality and ready to continue to win games, and I think we have such a good nucleus at the club that won't be an issue. I agree, I think that won't be an issue, but injuries would be if Arsenal pick them up. So it's just so vital now. Everyone's going to be watching these internationals, fingers crossed, sort of watching it through their hands, basically. Every time Bukayo Saka gets a kick, every time you hear that Martin Odegaard's gone down during a Norway game, it's certainly Thomas Partey as well, who I still think probably is the most important player in this Arsenal team. I don't know, it's quite tough to actually say that. I'd always used to say Thomas Partey is absolutely the most important player in this Arsenal team. But I think Martin Odegaard's getting to that status now that whenever he doesn't play, Arsenal are so visibly worse that he's right up there as well. So I think Saka, Odegaard and Partey, just those three need to be wrapped in cotton wool for the next couple of weeks and just make sure no one's allowed to go near them. Anyone who gets within 10 yards of those three players on international duty, the ref should just immediately book them, because it shouldn't be allowed. Leandro Trossard's been speaking as well. He's had a press conference ahead of Belgium's games. Big sort of chance for Trossard internationally now. With Kevin De Bruyne retiring from international football, you think Trossard's got a real opportunity to become one of the main men at Belgium over the next couple of years. He's been speaking at a press conference. He's been sort of talking about the way he settled in to Arsenal, and he said, I maybe didn't expect to make as many minutes as I had, but injuries have helped me a bit. I'm more convinced of my own abilities, however, than ever. I arrived in a great group filled with great players. That also makes it easier for new players to adapt and reach their levels. It was a very busy and weird period for me, but I'm very happy I've been able to join Arsenal. I think it's been a great step for me. What a fantastic addition Leandro Trossard's been. I saw a stat today that he's obviously got 6 assists since he arrived for Arsenal in the Premier League. That's 3 more than any other player in the Premier League since Trossard arrived. That's how good he has been. Scored a goal as well, of course. Should have had 2 with that goal that was disallowed against Leicester, which I still think was really, really harsh. But yeah, what a fantastic signing he has been for Arsenal, and what a huge part he is playing in this title push. And should Arsenal get over the line over the next 10 games, then the signing of Trossard in January, I think we're all going to look back at as such a crucial moment in Arsenal's season, because he's undoubtedly made them stronger and has improved the squad 100%. All right, that's it from me, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Anything you've agreed with, disagreed with, as always, please do let me know in the comments below. Until next time, have a very good day. Enjoy the football later on tonight. I'll speak to you soon.